What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Out of the Gate here on a Monday afternoon, ready to kick things off, Monday morning I guess it would be, but ready to kick off the action. 3 days of racing right here at Parx Racing. Track announcer Chris Griffin here in the Parx Racing studio, and I got to find Ambassador of Juan again. I got to raid the vault down there and get into some of those t-shirts, but this is the shirt that's just reminding you guys that we got some stakes races coming up right here at Parx. We get into the summer season now. You're going to see some grade threes. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, and we got some great stakes racing action all leading up to September 24th, biggest day of racing in Pennsylvania. So mark it down as we concluded our Saturdays for the summer and for the year, except there's one more on Saturday, September 24th. So we're looking forward to that. The Pennsylvania Derby and the Cotillion, both grade ones, both at $1 million. But let's take a look at what happened last week, as we always do here to kick off the show. Here is the Parx Playback.
Parx Playback time. Here we go. Backed by Gold and Luis Rodriguez Castro, a dominating win. He barely moved. Trained by Joe Taylor, uneasy winner. Jeremy Rose, he's back at Parx, off the layoff and a thrilling stretch run on the turf. Grand Saman for trainer Steve Claceris got the money. It was 4th of July, so it wasn't fireworks, but flashin' dynamite. Jamie Ness off the claim, and Ruben Silvera got the score. How impressive was this run? You're missing the point. Didn't miss a beat as Frankie Pennington for John Service, winning by many lengths. Franz Warrior is in great form right now. Trainer John T. Kirby and Paco Lopez team up. Just keeps running well, and this time from off the pace. Boss Like Beth was the experienced runner. A solid group of 2-year-olds, but this filly went right to the front, and it was over. Gerardo Milan for Ernesto Padilla-Preciado was the boss on Tuesday. Have a great week.
As we take a look at what happened here last week here at Parx, the week ending on July 9th, you can see all of the jockeys, the trainers, and then also the horses from the post positions that they did break from that got the wins. Don't forget all of this great content. You can head on over to our Instagram, our IG, Parx_racing. There's some stuff on there that you're not going to see on the Twitter or some of our other accounts. A lot of that great exclusive coverage there on Instagram, so make sure you check it out. There's really, really good stuff over there. So Parx_racing on Instagram. Make sure you check it out. Let's take a look at today's card here. 11 races on the program. I'm going to talk about 10 of them. Race number 1, 7,500 non-4 lifetime in here. You take a look at the 6 furlong distance. And this is before scratches and changes, obviously, so if there are any adjustments, obviously I'll bring those to you here very shortly. But the number 5, Memphis Mafia, 2-1 on the morning line. The class drop makes the difference. Drop in class here from the open $15,000 claiming down to the 7,500, a 5-year-old mare that's 0 for 5 at the distance with a second and a third. But it just seems like this horse is good enough here that if she goes back to some of those efforts, she's going to get the victory. They claimed her for 12.5. She ran 5th and she ran 6th. Now they take the drop down to the 7,500. So 5-year-old mare, she might get claimed out of this effort. We'll see. But it just seems like she's dropping to a new low level here from a claiming standpoint. I think she gets the job done. I think she'll be a little bit closer to the pace as well. Taking a look at race number 2, 6.5 furlongs. This is the distance. Maiden $25,000 race. And Muttley, I'm going to take Muttley today. I think I've picked Muttley in a couple of the starts and just hasn't gotten the job done. But this horse was really knocking on the door last time. A decent second here against Mischievous Jones. Was really battling onto the inside. Where's the Passion was in that race as well. We're going to show that replay on the live show. But this is a horse that had shown some speed, actually made a winning move to the top of the stretch, and just seemed to get passed by horses that were a little bit better that afternoon. Mischievous Jones has been tackling that maiden 25 level. You see Muttley now in the Kate DeMasi barn. They claimed for 25. They tried the 40,000, didn't quite pan out, back down to the $25,000 level. It just seems like at 6.5 furlongs with the 2 second place finishes, it's Muttley's turn. That's kind of the way that I see it. So the 4, probably a short price, but that's the top choice in race number 2. Don't forget, you can see all of our great content that we have right here at Parx across all of our social media channels, but especially make sure you check us out on YouTube. Hit that subscribe. what a way to close things out on a Saturday afternoon right here at Parx. It wasn't the last race, but it was the second to last race, and My Dixie Lass there in the orange cap got the victory in a nice stretch battle there over some really good rivals in that spot. And there is jockey Tyler Connor. We here at Parx Racing, and I'm sure the state of Pennsylvania as well, wants to congratulate jockey Tyler Connor. You'll see him with the presentation in the winner's circle for James Lawrence II, owner James Chanley, and My Dixie Lass picking up another career victory here at Parx on Saturday. But this was a huge achievement, a career achievement for Tyler Connor. Tyler Connor riding his 1,000th career winner right here at Parx on Saturday. We want to send along our congratulations to Tyler Connor and his team on win number 1,000. Tyler Connor picking up his 1,000th career victory. We saw Andrew Wolfson pick up his 1,000th a little bit earlier this year as well. So who's going to be next, right? Who's going to be the next jockey here to pick up 1,000 wins right here at Parx? We shall wait and see. Race number 3, when we take a look at this race in here, 6.5 furlongs, 12.5 non-3. Taking a look at the number 4 in Him She Kisses. I like this horse quite a bit. When you take a look at this runner in here, it just seems like the 25 non-3 drops into the 12.5. This horse ran okay. Looks like the horse needs the class drop. There's a return winner out of that race in Speak Unity. Frankie Pennington's going to pick up the ride. It looks like, as of note, this is going to be the first time that he pairs up with trainer Michelle Castillo. 3-1 would be great, but I'm taking a look at some of the other rivals in here, and I've looked at this race and seen a lot of these horses. They just kind of seem to pick up some of the minor placings in these spots. So I think with the class drop down to this level, coming out of some allowance races, I think the 4 Him She Kisses gets the victory there in race number 3. Race number 4, you take a look at the 1 mile distance, 12.5 non-3 race in here. Going to have another replay on the paddock previews, but relatively, Bobby Ann Hawthorne, Abner Adorno, when I take a look at this 3-year-old colt by Lee, comes out of a race where there's a return winner in Icy Storm. It just seems like with a little bit of a quicker tempo up front. They went 25-3, 50-2, 115-3. They were crawling up front. Relatively was behind that slow pace and just had too much ground to make up. I think this horse still kept up with rivals in there, and now you see this horse stays at the 12.5 level for the new barn. So I think relatively, maybe stays relatively closer to the pace this afternoon, but we'll see if the 3-year-old colt can get the job done. Does have 1 win at the distance and 1 second place finish. Hey, we got a stakes race tomorrow. We got a grade 3, the Dr. James Penny Memorial. It's on the turf at 1 1/16, so really looking forward to that. The fillies and mares. Princess Grace is listed. She'll be making a comeback. Got some nice runners. Joel Rosario is going to be riding a runner there for Christophe Clement. We got a big runner there from Brendan Walsh, Julien Leperoux. Those are the top 3 betting choices, and they're all going to break right next to each other. Remember that we've got a firm turf course this afternoon. We got turf racing here later this afternoon on a Monday, and that turf rail is at 15 feet, so just keep that in mind. I would imagine it's going to stay at that setting for tomorrow, so the turf rail at 15 feet. Maybe take a look at how the turf course plays this afternoon as we get set for the Dr. James Penny Memorial. Grade 2, or Grade 3 stakes race at $200,000. That's tomorrow right here at Parx. Race number 5, 6.5 furlongs is the distance. Going to go 4-3-1. I think Debbie Surprise is a standout in here. This horse ran a better number than these horses in the last. Lou Linder Jr. second off the layoff, gets Lasix, and the horse moves up in class from a maiden 10 to a maiden 16. It does look like your favorite's going to be towards the outside in the 7 Bella Maria. I'm going to play against. I think a 3-year-old filly off that maiden 25 effort that had shown some speed but needed some time off. Hasn't been seen since May 2nd. Now comes back with a class drop and an okay work coming in. I'm going to play against. So I think Debbie Surprise, I just think she's in a little bit better form, has the right to improve. If she improves, Debbie Surprise, I think she'll be a shorter price there in race number 5. Race number 6, I wasn't sure what to do with Manuela, but she seems to run the best races in the group. She's got some tactical speed. I think she stalks off of it. Adubiel Ignacio, we've been seeing him start to pick up some live mounts, start to get some more wins. We've got a lot of good apprentice jockeys here during the meet, and I think Adubiel Ignacio aboard the 4-year-old filly that comes off the win there at Gulfstream Park. She's going to be your favorite in there. We'll see how the bettors do take to this runner in this spot at the 1 mile distance. She's 2 for 2 at the distance, so Manuela, 4-year-old filly, top choice there in race number 6. We're going to talk about the Philly Big 5 in just a moment, but we got a chance to catch up with the Bow Show. That's right, Adam Bowman, one of the favorites in the jocks room, one of the hardest working guys on the backside. Let's take a look at our time and our interview with jockey Adam Bowman.
Jockey Adam Bowman didn't start getting on horses until someone suggested he should try it.
I graduated high school, didn't really know what to do. I actually did a lot of construction. I graduated with like a little bit of a degree. I went to a technical school, so I was National Association of Home Builders. So I graduated high school, was doing that, and I couldn't get a job. Went interview, couldn't. Everybody said, "You're too small, you can't do the job." And then one day my mom said, "Well, there's a school down in Kentucky. Why don't you try to be a jockey?" Be a jockey? I've never been on a horse other than a pony. I'm like, sure, I'm athletic. I'll give it a try. So I went to Kentucky, went to the North American Racing Academy, had an interview, and kind of fell in love with the horses, just doing it.
Adam Bowman's riding career began in Kentucky.
First, I did a phone call interview with Chris McCarron and a couple of his people, and then they said, "Oh yeah, we'd like you to come to Lexington." And I told my dad that day, I said I'm gonna drive to Lexington next week. My mom was living in Kentucky at the time. So he goes, "All right, well, good luck, have fun, drive down to Lexington and good luck." So I drove to Lexington, and they put me on a horse, a thoroughbred, and I didn't know what to do. They said, "Yeah, just try to jog him down the shed road." I said, "Jog him down the shed road? I don't know what I'm doing." So they snapped the shank on him, and they jogged him, and I kind of stood up on him, and okay, it looks like we might be able to work with you, Adam.
After he left school, Adam Bowman was ready to ride.
I leave the school, I come here. I galloped for John Service for about a year, and I had the itch to ride. I really wanted to ride races, so I had some connections in Ohio, in Kentucky at the time. So I left here, I went to Ohio, and I rode my first race at River Downs, which is now Belterra Park, I believe, in June, just about 11 years ago.
A jockey is working around the clock to get all the mounts they can for the afternoon.
Just word of mouth. I was walking around. I'm a people person. I like to talk to people. I just kind of go around, talk to people, shake their hands, and I like to work. I love getting on horses. It's just what I do. So I would just walk around, get on horses. Hey, you need a hand, you need help, and I would just do my thing. I don't like to say, I'm going to work harder than you, No, I come in, I work, I get on my horses, and then I want to go home. It's not that I'm working harder than anybody, it's what I love to do. I love coming in, I love getting on the horses. If I'm not getting on 6, 7 horses a day, I feel like I've had a wasted day. I need to come in and keep busy. I can't stand here and stand on the rail and just talk, and that's just not me. I love to be busy.
Adam Bowman is a family man. Spending time with family is number one, even if they have thoughts on his rides in the afternoon.
The best thing is going home to my kids and my wife. I come home from work, I walk in the door, I've been gone all day. Daddy's home, kids come give me a big hug. That's my life. That's what I enjoy. There's nothing better than coming home and being dad. Well, I mean, it happens occasionally. My wife says, "Oh, well, you could have done this and done that." I'm like, yeah, I could have. You're right, And the kid said, "Did you win today, Daddy? Did you win today?" Not today, but maybe tomorrow. There's always another day.
Bowman likes to save ground as much as possible.
I love the rail. If you're patient enough, 9 times out of 10, the rail opens up. It's just whether the horse likes to be in there. A lot of these horses, some of them don't like to take dirt, so you have to take them outside. You got to get them clean. But if a horse is taking dirt and doesn't mind being down in there, that's where I want to be. The rail's the shortest way around the track. Sometimes it's a little heavy, a little deeper in there, so you don't want to be in there, but it is the fastest way and the shortest way around there.
What's the conversation like in the paddock before the race?
I like to just keep it easy in the paddock. I don't really try to stress and worry about nothing. I come down, shake your hands, usually, ask me about my family, the kids, how my day's gone, how, the races are going for the day, and just take it from there. I have trainers, when I'm in the paddock, I'll ask them, does the horse mind being inside, or will they take dirt, do they need to be outside? And some trainers say, you can put them in, they like the rail. Some horses, they need to be outside, and put them on the outside.
When Adam Bowman wins, what's the response like in the jocks room?
I tell you what, when I win races, I don't know, because I'm on the racetrack. But, I've come back in the room a couple times, and I like to bust stones and give guys a hard time, because I'm not winning on favorites a lot. When I'm bringing horses in, they got a price. So I like to come back and I like to bust some stones, throw a little shade at some of the guys, you know, and they you know, pound on the lockers a little bit and honk the horns, and you know, we like to have a good time and keep it loose.
A lot of respect with everybody.
A lot of respect.
Thanks again to jockey Adam Bowman for spending some time with us here at Parx Racing. Philly Big Five, $71,011.57. It's always the last 5 races of the day. It's a pick 5 format, so it's a jackpot bet. Get involved in that Philly Big Five. That'll start in race 7 on today's card. And let's talk about race 7 while we're at it. 6 furlongs is the distance, $7,500 claiming race in here. Taking a look at the number 7 in Silver Fury. This is a tough race. I mean, you can go a lot of different directions in this spot. I'm taking this horse on the class drop from the 10,000. Seems like this horse should be a little bit closer to the pace. I think when you take a look at that last effort, was pretty far back. This horse has been coming from behind, but when you take a look at some of those runs at the 7,500 and the 5,000, this horse is matched up very well. 10,000 hasn't quite panned out, so Silver Fury back on the class drop here is the top choice. Race number 8 at 1 mile and 70 yards. You take a look at the number 3 of Walia. This race, I don't want to say impossible, but it's tough. I mean, you take a look at some of the runners in here. Taylor's Bell is going to be your favorite, it seems, on the morning line, but she seems like a pretty vulnerable favorite in this spot. A lot of these horses tackling this $5,000 level. Walia has shown some speed, at least in the history, in a race where there's just not a lot of it. There's just not a ton of speed in this race. So whoever gets to the front early, I think, is going to win the race. I think whoever sets the fractions probably ends up, you know, being on the front end and keeps going. Sylvester Gonzalez takes over the mount here on the 3. I like this horse at a little bit of a price there in race number 8. Getting on the turf there in race number 9 at 1 mile and 16th. And again, this is me pointing this out for tomorrow because we got that big grade 3 tomorrow. So see how the turf course does play at the 1 mile and 16th here this afternoon. The number 4 in a spin. Michael Matt's trainee is 2 for 2 in the last 2 starts. Comes in from Laurel, sitting behind, you know, some moderate tempo. Last time out, a 49-second half-mile time, but then also chased a 46, and this horse ran by both of those fields. Now, I haven't gotten scratches and changes yet. This horse is going to have to ship in, but running more racing, we've been very familiar with these Silks. They have come in and they've done excellent work this year here at Parx. I think they continue to do it there. In a spin is going to be a shorter price, but that's the top choice in race number 9. Let's take a look at race number 10. This will conclude my selections for the day. We got one more coming up there in race 11. But when you take a look at race number 10 at 1 mile, JD's Vista is going to have to improve. Finished behind Pumpernickel in the last start. Pumpernickel came back and ran okay at the optional 16 against Chelsea Wall. Pliantly, it just seems like JD's Vista was a different horse last time out. Horse came from Tampa, claimed for 8,000. Then has that second place finish well beaten behind Pumpernickel, who ran huge that afternoon. JD's Vista came back, was in hand, and cruised by rivals there and won by 4+ lengths. I think this is an improving type. Dexter Haddock, Harold Wiley, they'll team up. We'll see if the 4-year-old filly gets the job done. She's over 5 of the distance, so she does have to improve. There are some nice horses in here, but I wanted to find some value there in the late sequences. So race number 10. Let's take the 5, JD's Vista. Let's see if she throws up a huge performance and deserves to be this week's Performance of the Week. But let's take a look at who was last week's Performance of the Week. Jeremy Laprida now 2 for his last 2 Performance of the Week. He was the prior week's Performance of the Week. That was a huge performance, though. If you go back and watch that race, the stretch run doesn't even tell the whole story. Titanic Rose was way at the back and passed the entire field way out in the far outside. That was an impressive run there from the Ernesto Padilla-Preciado barn. Titanic Rose got the victory. That does it for me this afternoon as we get into a Monday of live racing action. We're back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday right here at Parx. First post time's 12:55. Follow us on all of our social media at Parx Racing, at In the Grandstand. Hit that subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. And I told you about that Instagram, Parx_Racing. It's all coming up fast and firm. Should be some nice weather all week long. We got a grade 3 tomorrow on a Tuesday. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Gone out of the gate.